ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim wa bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Laqad yassarna al-Qur'an lidhikr fahal min muddakir. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu everyone, and welcome to our 7th session where we continue to learn about nouns. What we have covered so far is a big deal. It's the properties of nouns that we have covered. We covered the T, G, N, S. The ones who are joining us for the first time today, we covered the type, gender, number, and status or state of the nouns. Alhamdulillah, and we continue learning about the pronouns. Today, however, what we will be covering is demonstrative pronouns. But before I dive into that, a few pointers for you. The handout has been uploaded on the Google Drive. It's at lesson 7, so if you can open it in front of you. And the second thing is that all the recordings for the class, for this session, they have been saved under a playlist on Epic YouTube channel, right? So if you just go to the main page, you will see the playlist, and the title is Grammar. All of them have been saved there in order to play for you, inshallah. So review becomes easy for you. All right, so now starting with our lesson for today, we are going to be learning about demonstrative pronouns. If you remember, this is the term that we came across when we first started learning about the pronouns, where if you open your handout, you will see in the first page, right? In the first page, I have listed for you the 7 classes of proper nouns. Remember when we were talking about type, right? That noun can be proper, it can be common, the Arabic terminology, ma'rifa, nakira, right? We're not big on Arabic terminology, just putting it out there, right? So we studied that there are, when we were studying proper nouns, we studied that there are 7 classes of proper nouns, and they are the noun that's attached with alif lam, right? And then we have the names of specific people, places, locations. Then we have the third one, which is pronouns. The fourth one, which is demonstrative pronoun. Fifth, relative pronoun. Sixth, mudaf in an idafa construction. And 7, the noun that identifies a person being addressed, right? So if you see in your handout that I have scratched out 1 and 2, meaning we have covered that, right? So if we go along to this, if we go according to this list, we should have been on the 3rd topic, which is pronouns. And usually that's what everyone does. We go to pronouns before we start doing demonstrative or relative. But in the last year, what we did in our school is we tried doing the demonstrative and relative pronouns before doing the pronouns, and we felt like students benefited with this order greatly than just hitting on pronouns at this time. So we'll do the pronouns after we have completed demonstrative and relative, inshallah. Okay, so we have the demonstrative, which is number 4, the topic that is number 4 on your list of types of proper nouns. That's our topic for today, okay? All right, so let's get started. Lesson 7, demonstrative pronouns and pointers. Is it coming up on the screen, Brother Basir? Because I'm not able to see it. Okay, all right, as long as the audience is able to see it. So demonstrative pronouns. What are demonstrative pronouns? Plain and simple language. It is something that we use to point at something. What is it? This boy, right? That girl. So this, that, these, those, okay? These are all your demonstrative pronouns in the Arabic language. In Arabic term, it's called ismul ishara. Ishara, pointing towards something, okay? It's a word that is used to point towards something. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, right? That book, okay? So keep in mind that these are nouns, okay? They don't come with alif lam attached, and we're going to see how they look in a little bit. So just get the English bit. In English, this is the same as this house, that school, those schools, that, street. So anything that I am using to point towards a noun, okay, towards a noun that falls under the category of demonstrative pronouns. And it's not a huge list. It's this, that, those, right? And in Arabic, we just have the dual, and that's the only difference, right, between the English language and the Arabic language. In the English language, you have the singular and the plural, and in the Arabic language, you have the singular, you have the dual, and you have the plural. So, like we did Muslimun, Muslimani, Muslimuna, 3 forms, right? Over here also, for the demonstrative pronoun, we're going to have the 3 forms. We'll have the singular look, we're going to have the dual look, and then we're going to have the plural look. Before we get to the chart, a few things that I want to put out there is what we are studying under demonstrative pronouns right now is something that is called a demonstrative phrase, okay? Your notes have it, demonstrative phrase or fragment, whatever you want to call it. What is a phrase or a fragment? It's part of a sentence. It's not a complete sentence, okay? So let's just get the technical definition out of the way and then we'll do examples. So here, a demonstrative phrase, see this one, a demonstrative phrase, it is made up of 2 nouns, okay? It is made up of 2 nouns. The first noun, the first column, it shows what the first noun is going to be, and the second column shows what the second column is going to be, the second noun is going to look like, okay? So the first noun is called, we're not going to use demonstrative pronoun and all of that, we're just going to use simple, clear English language, we're going to call it pointer. Okay, so all the equivalents of this, that, those in Arabic, they're going to be called pointers. So the first, all right, and keep in mind, Arabic moves from right to left, okay? So the first word that you see as part of a demonstrative phrase, okay, it's called the pointer. Ismul ishara, the noun that is used to point. I'll repeat, the noun that is used to point. The first noun that you see in this fragment, it's called Ismul Ishara. All right? Sadia and Salwa, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You can hear me clear now?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. What did I just say? Salwa, can you repeat it for me?
That in the Ismul Ishara, in the demonstrative phrase, the Ismul Ishara will come first, so it'll be the first word that you'll see.
Okay, the Ismul Ishara, meaning words that have the meaning of this, that, and those. Okay, Dhalika al-Kitab, just keep that in mind. Your Dhalika is your pointer. Okay, that book, that's your pointer. So that's going to be your first word. Okay, now your second word, okay, it's in Arabic, it's called Mushar ilay. The first one, Ismul Ishara. Okay, the second one, Mushar ilay. So Dhalika al-Kitab, right? Dhalika, Ismul Ishara, pointer. What is being pointed? The object that is being pointed, Al-Kitab, okay? One straight and simple rule is that the second noun should always come attached with an alif lam, okay? Salwa or Sadia? Let me ask Sadia this time. Sadia, what did I say? The second noun should always come
attached with an alif lam.
It has to come attached with an alif lam in order for it to qualify as a demonstrative phrase or a fragment, okay? Before I continue, I want to reiterate one point that I mentioned in the first few classes is that what you are learning right now, these are your basics in Arabic grammar, right? They are your basic rules and principles. Keep in mind that as we advance, the basic rule, they do break. Okay, so you will see exceptional cases where you would see a structure where the alif lam is there, but we're using it to understand another concept, okay? We're using it to understand it in another way. So when we get to that, we'll see, but just right now, keep in mind that what you are learning is the absolute basic of Arabic grammar. And these basic rules, they apply 98% of the times. There are those 2%, okay, chances where these rules will not apply and they will give rise to exceptional cases, all right? Okay, great. So now we have the ism ishara, the pointer, okay, this, that, and then the second noun, okay, the second noun, it will always have alif lam here, okay, sorry about this. It will always be attached with alif lam. So you see, hadhal waladu, you see it over here, hadhal waladu, and the way I'm translating it is, hadha means this, okay, al waladu, boy, this boy. It's a fragment, it's a phrase, something else has to come in order to complete the sentence. So that's why we call it a fragment, okay? So this boy, now hadha, all right, hadha is your ism ishara. Sorry. Okay, hadha is your ism ishara. Let me write this for you. Okay, hadha is your ism ishara, meaning pointer, and then the noun with alif lam is your mushar ilay, pointed, okay? The way you translate this is this boy, okay? Now, like I said, for it to qualify as a demonstrative phrase, it must have the alif lam. But we know nouns sometimes don't have alif lam. So when they don't have alif lam, but it's still, like for example, if it is hadha waladun, then what? Then you will not call it a demonstrative phrase. In that case, okay, here, look at this, hadha, still a pointer, okay? And then you have waladun, which is a noun. But the difference between this, okay, this and this is, here it is proper, al-waladu, and over here, waladun is common. The difference between the translation of the two is very subtle. This one will translate as this boy, okay, here, this boy, and the second one is going to translate as this is a boy. Okay, that's what the difference is. So the way we understand it is, let me erase this for you so it becomes a little bit more clear. Okay, here you go. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, you have this. Now, when you have ism ishara, okay, here, you have the pointer, all right, and you have the thing that is the noun without the alif lam. When a noun comes without the alif lam, there is an invisible is, are, in between the two, okay? Invisible is or are. So this is a boy. It becomes a complete sentence now. So from being a fragment here in hadha al-waladu, okay, from being a fragment where we don't know this boy, okay, this boy what? Something else is needed to make sense of it, right? Here, it becomes a complete sentence, all right? How? Just by dropping the alif lam. Sadia and Salwa, did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, what did I say? Sadia, can you quickly recap for me? What is the difference between hadhal waladu and then hadha waladun?
So hadhal waladu it just means this boy, so it doesn't have anything in between it because it's a proper noun. And then hadha waladun is this is a boy, so there's like an invisible a or anything like in between the two.
Exactly. So there's an invisible is. I'm going to do one or two more examples just so to make sure that, you get this point clearly. Here, let me try something for you here. Okay. So say I do a column, okay, and I have proper nouns here, and then I have common nouns here, okay. Now let's see. Sadia and Salwa, help me do this one. Now, if I have al-baytu, okay, al-baytu, and I apply hadha to it, how will I translate? Hadhal baytu. How will I translate?
This house.
This house. Now, how will I translate if I did baytun? Hadha baytun.
This is a house.
This is a house. Very good. Okay, let's try another one. We have masjidun. Okay, sorry, masjidu. Okay, al masjidu. Okay, al-masjidu, and apply hadha to this, how will it sound like? How will it translate?
This masjid.
This masjid, and then if I have masjidun, how will I translate? Hadha masjidun, how will I translate?
This is a masjid.
This is a masjid, this is a mosque, okay? So this side is your complete sentence, and this is a fragment, okay? Let's try one last one. I have al-yawmu, okay? Al-yawmu, how will I translate hadha al-yawmu?
This day.
This day, and then I have yawmun, Salwa, yawmun, how will I translate yawmun?
This is a day.
So that makes clear, right? Simple. What we have covered so far is demonstrative pronoun, okay? Demonstrative pronoun, we studied about demonstrative phrase. We learned that demonstrative phrase is made up of two nouns, all right? We have the pointer and we have the pointed. The pointed must always carry the alif lam. If it does not carry the alif lam, then it does not remain a fragment or a phrase. Instead, it becomes a complete sentence, and we just did a couple of examples about that, okay? All right, so now let's go and learn a little bit more about the properties of ism ishara and mushar ilayh, or the pointer. I'm trying to erase this. Why isn't it erasing? Okay, never mind. Here, properties. Moving on. Properties, okay? Very simple. You have already learned type, gender, number, and status, right? That nouns have 4 properties. So, Salwa, since nouns have 4 properties, will demonstrative pronouns also have 4 properties?
Yes.
Why?
Because it falls under the category of a noun.
Exactly, because it falls under the category of noun. So this is what we all need to understand, is anything that qualifies as a noun, all right? Whether it has alif lam, whether it has tanween, does not matter. If it qualifies as a noun, okay, then it will have your type, gender, number, and status. And demonstrative pronouns are no different, okay? The second point that we want to understand is, we understood that demonstrative phrase is made up of 2 nouns, okay? You want to treat these 2 nouns as twins, identical twins. What do I mean by that? Meaning, let's take an example, okay? Or let's take an example from the packet itself. It is there. The eraser is not working. No problem. Okay, so I'm going to here write hadha, okay, hadhal baytu, okay, hadhal baytu. This and this, hadha and al baytu, okay, pointer and pointed, okay, both are twins, meaning both will have the same T, G, and S, okay? This is proper, this has to be proper, okay? This is male, this has to be male. This is singular, this has to be singular. This is rafa, this has to be rafa, okay? So you have to keep in mind the 2 properties. One is that the ism ishara, okay, and the mushar ilayh, the pointer and the pointed, they match each other, okay, in all the 4 properties. That is, they agree in type, they agree in gender, they agree in number, and they agree in status. Because look at hadha over here, okay? It does not have alif lam, it does not have tanween, okay? It does not have any of that. So keep in mind that in order to identify proper or common, we need to have those markers, alif lam marker or something, right? But over here we know demonstrative falls under the proper, so that is taken care of. But what about when we are talking about gender? Right? When we are talking about gender, then how do I know whether hadha is male or female? We'll look at the chart in a little bit. Number, similarly, whether it's singular, dual, or plural, we have a chart. We're going to look at it. Rafa is the trickiest bit, but it's the easiest way to figure it out also. Because hadha, okay, it will never change its look. You know how we said that a noun changes its look? Allahu can become Allaha. It can become Allahi, or Ar-Rasulu can become Ar-Rasula, it can become Ar-Rasuli, right? Or Al-Mu'minuna can become Al-Mu'minani, can become Al-Mu'minaini, can become Al-Mu'minina, all of that, right? So we learned that Al-Mu'minu can become Al-Mu'mina, and then Al-Mu'minani can become Al-Mu'minaini, Al-Mu'minuna can become Al-Mu'minina, right? We learned all of that when we were learning status. Hadha over here, it is what we want to call a very stubborn noun. It does not change its look. Like mu'minuna becomes mu'minina, or mu'minani becomes mu'minaini. Hadha, tilka, هذه, أولئك, هؤلاء. These are the Arabic for all the demonstrative pronouns, right? We're going to look at the chart in a little bit. They don't change their look. They remain as is. They're very stubborn. They're not flexible, okay? So then the noun that they come paired up with, that gives us the clue, okay? Whether it's rafa, nasab, and jar. We'll do that inshallah in the next class, okay? But for today, we will look at some examples. Number one, we'll look at some charts, okay? We'll look at the basic chart that will give us the singular, dual, and plural of all the ismul ishara for far and for near, okay? And then we're going to apply those inshallah, okay? So let's take a look here. Here's the chart, which is on page 3. Okay, it's on page 3 of your packet. So you see plural, singular, dual, plural. The reason I thought like this is the best way to go after doing the Muslimun chart is because your brain is already synced up with that chart, right? You know the singular, dual, plural. So any topic that conforms to this flow, we might as well cover it now. All right, so that's why I went ahead and I decided to do Ismul Shara at this time. Your singular, look at it. Your singular is hadha, okay? You have hadha, all right? Same, like all nouns, they have the male and the female, all right? So on the right-hand side, you see the male pointers and you see the female pointers. These are for near. Anything that you want to point to that is close to you, you're going to use these 6 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 male, 3 female. That's it. That's all that you have to memorize, okay? So look at it. You have hadha, all right? We're doing the male chart first. Again, keep the order in your mind. The ones who have been following from day one, the order should be like it should be imprinted in your brains by now, right? And I'm sure it is. So you have hadha, singular, right? And then hadani, ani, dual, muslimani. Anything with ani ending, that's your dual, okay? So hadani, don't look at hadaini at this time. We'll talk about it later, okay? So just focus on hadani. And then the third one is haulai, which is your plural. How common are these words in the Quran? So hadha, the meaning is this. Hadani, these two, okay? Haulai, these. Sadia, can you give me the first row, male pointers for near?
Hadha, hadani, and haulai.
Okay, Salwa, can you repeat that again?
Hadha, hadani, haulai.
Hadha, hadani, haulai. Everyone can repeat. Hadha, hadani, and then haulai. That's your male or female?
Male.
Male, right? Now moving on, we go to our female chart. Okay, so female chart is what? Hadha will become hadhihi. Okay, hadha, hadhihi, all right? And then the dual is what? Hatani. So hadani became hatani, simple, ta, okay? And then you have the plural, which is the same for male and female, haulai, okay? The context will tell you what it is, whether it's male or female. So here, this is the point that I was trying to make earlier. Haulai and then haulai, male and female, it's the same, right? But haulai, if I do here, al-muslimuna, okay? Al-muslimuna, all right? Al-muslimuna, these Muslims, okay? And then over here, haulai, al-muslimatu, okay? Salwa, can you tell me the haulai in the first row, okay, with muslimuna? Give me the type, gender, number, and status of that. What's the type of haulai?
It's proper.
Proper. Gender?
Male.
Male. But haulai is used for both male and female. How do you know that it is male?
Because the muslimuna is male.
Exactly. You look at the word that comes, the noun that it has twinned up with, okay? It's twin. Its twin is going to be your hint. Muslimuna is male. And we know that the pointer and the pointed, they are identical twins, okay? So if al-muslimuna is your male, then haulai also has to be male, okay? So that's basically how you figure it out. Gender. Number. What's number?
The number would be plural.
Plural. And then status.
Rafa.
Rafa. How do you know it's rafa? Haulai. Hamza kasra, right? How do you know it's rafa?
Because of the una.
Because of the una, exactly. And una is your rafa ending combination. You'll never see ha'ula'u. Where do you see in the Quran ha'ula'a or ha'ula'u? It's always ha'ula'i. And the reason is that they are very, very stubborn in their spelling. They don't change their look whatsoever. So that's why we look at the word, the noun that comes with them in order to figure out their T, G, and S. Now, Sadia, can you do ha'ula'il muslimatu? Type.
Is proper.
Proper. Gender.
Female.
How do you know it's female?
Is the second word atu.
Very good. And then number.
Plural.
Plural, again, atu, right? And then status. And sorry, haulai is also plural. Okay, status?
Rafa.
Rafa. How do you know it's rafa?
Is the atu.
Because of the atu. If it was ati?
It'd be nasab.
Nasab? Just nasab?
Or jar.
Or jar, exactly. It would be nasab or jar. So those ending combinations, all right, those ending combinations, they tell you the ending sounds or ending combination of the second noun will help you identify the property for the pointer. T, G, and S. Type, gender, number, and status. Okay, all right. So have you memorized it by now? Hada, hadani, haulai. Hadihi, hatani, ha'ulai. Salwa, can you try it while I try to erase this?
Hada, hadani.
You're not looking, right?
No.
Good girl. Okay.
Hadihi, hatani, ha'ulai.
Very good. Okay. That is your female for far or near. Male and female for far or near?
Near.
For near. Okay. Let's try for far. Okay. There's one typo here, ismul ishara lil ba'id. It should be lil ba'id, okay? Not qareeb. Just fix that. It should be ba'id. Okay. Now, the second group is, for same, we have the male and the female here, okay? So the male is what? We have dhalika, dhanika, ulaika, okay? So ha'ulai is these and ulaika is those, okay? Ulaika, right? And ha'ulai. Then feminine form will be tilka, tanika, and ulaika. This is for what? When we want to point towards anything that is at a distance. Okay? Make sense? All right. So we will repeat again. The chart for the far ones is dhalika, dhanika, ulaika. Okay? Feminine is tilka, tanika, ulaika. The easiest part about this chart is that the dual is rarely used in the Quran. There are very few examples that we will see of the dual form using ism ishara and mushar ilay, right? Hadani, like hadani, khasmani, it's there in Surah Baqarah, I think. I'm not sure, Surah Baqarah or Al Imran, one of those surahs. Hadani, khasmani, ikhtasamu, the two parties that, the two parties that fought with regards to their Rabb, right? So those duals you will see here and there a little bit, but primarily you're going to see the singular form and you're going to see the plural form. I mean, how many times have you seen ulaika in the Quran and ha'ulai in the Quran, or hada or hadihi or tilka or zalika, right? Even if you open the Mus'haf right now, and which is something that you should do as soon as your lesson is over, you should open the Mus'haf and you should try and identify places where you see the noun that you have learned for today, and that topic is demonstrative pronoun, or the phrase that we learned, which is made up of a demonstrative pronoun, right? The pointer and the pointed, ism ishara, all right, and mushar ilay, combination of two nouns. The most important thing that you want to remember is that the second noun comes attached with an alif lam, all right? If it does not come attached with an alif lam, it does not remain a fragment. It becomes a complete sentence. Second point to remember is that the two nouns Ism ishara and mushar ilay, they're twins, meaning they have identical properties in terms of type, gender, number, and status. In case you're not able to figure out whether hadha is whether it's rafa', nasab, or jar, you just look at the noun that comes attached to it, and that will give you the hint. Because hadha, tilka, ulaika, haula'i, they will not change their look. There is no ending sound, there's no ending combination except what you see here in front of you, and that is how it will remain, okay? The exception that may be is in the case of hadani and hatani. I'm not going to get into it today. We're going to leave it. I want you to absorb this much today, right? The two charts that we have learned. Salwa, tell me really quickly the first chart, the ism ishara that we use for close, something pointing towards something that is close to us. Give me the male form. We have
Hada, hadani, haulai.
haulai. Sadia, give me the female form.
Hadihi, hatani, and haulai.
Very good. And then now let's go to the pointers for pointing something that is at a distance, right? We have the male.
Dhalika.
Yes. Dhalika.
Ulaika.
Good. Dhalika, dhanika, and ulaika. What about female?
Tilka, tanika, ulaika.
Tilka, tanika, ulaika. The meaning is simple, right? This, for near, it is this, these two, and then these all, whatever you're pointing in terms of plural, right? And then you have for far, you say that, those two, and those all. Simple? Right? Again, I'm going to repeat it one more time for our audience on YouTube. The male chart for the pointers, in order to point to something that is close, the male chart is hadha, hadani, haulai. The female chart is hadihi, hatani, haulai. All right? And then if you want to point towards something that is at a distance, all right, the male chart will be dhalika, dhanika, ulaika. All right? And then the female chart will be tilka, tanika, and ulaika. All right, so these are the two charts that we have covered today, and they fall under the topic demonstrative pronouns. Okay, to quickly recap what we have done so far before we hit the exercises is that right in the beginning we learned that nouns, there are of three, words, there are of three kinds, right? We have the noun, we have the verbs, and we have the particles. We started our study with nouns, and in nouns we did the types of nouns, right? When we studied the types of nouns, we learned that there are proper nouns and that there are common nouns, and in the proper noun itself there are 7 different kinds of proper nouns. The topic that we covered today is one kind of a proper noun. We have covered the nouns that come attached with alif lam. We have covered names of people, places, locations falling under proper nouns, and today we completed our third proper noun, which is a demonstrative pronoun. A demonstrative pronoun comes attached with another noun, okay, comes attached with another noun that has alif lam attached to it. Together they make what we call as the demonstrative phrase. You can call it ism ishara, mushar alayh, or you can call it pointer or pointed, the phrase for the ones who want the Arabic terminology, murakkab ishari, okay, demonstrative phrase or fragment. And we learned that the two of them, they are identical twins. The pointer and the pointed, they are identical twins. So whatever the TGNS of the pointed will be, it will also be the same for the pointer. Now, what are the pointers? We just covered the male, female for near, and then male, female for far. Hada, hadani, haulai, hadihi, hatani, haulai. Dhalika, dhanika, ulaika, tanika, tanika, ulaika. All right? So that's the lesson for today. Really quickly, let's go ahead and apply them before we wrap up today's class. All right, 7A, if everybody can look at your handbook, Sadia and Salwa, let's try and do some of these here. Use the appropriate pointer near, okay? You're going to use from the chart of near, okay? For the following nouns. See, I'm a very compassionate teacher. I've put the cheat sheet right below the exercise because just in case you have not memorized it, right? You can look at the cheat sheet. And like I said, don't make your life difficult. Don't think that you have to memorize it right now and, go with it. You use whatever tools you need to use. This is between you and Allah. Your sincerity, it's getting across to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you need to put this at the back of your mushaf, like I said, with u-a-i, ani, aini, aini, una, ina, ina, go ahead and add another one. All right? Anytime you get confused, there is no harm in you flipping to the back of your Quran, flipping to the back of your mushaf and checking where it plugs in. Okay? So go ahead and do that. Now, as we do this exercise, Salwa, let's try and do Al-Kitabu. I'm going to give you the meaning, okay, so we can translate. Now, you're going to translate either as a fragment or a sentence. Okay? Okay, so the first one, Al-Kitabu. Which one are you going to use? In all the 6 words that you see in the bottom for Al-Kitabu.
Hada.
Hada, because Kitabu is male, right? So we're going to use Hada. Very good. Okay, now can you translate this one?
This book.
This book. Very nice. Now the second one, look at the second one. Kitabun. What are you going to use?
Hada.
Hada again. Can you translate?
This is a book.
This is a book. Excellent. Okay, let's try number 5. Al-Qamar. Al-Qamar is moon. What will you use?
Hada.
Hada. Why not hadihi? It's moon. Why not hadihi?
It's not feminine.
It's not feminine, exactly. Sun is considered feminine in Arabic, okay? So Al-Qamar, excellent. This is Hada. I want to give me a chance to trick you guys, okay? Hada, right? Hada al-Qamar. Can you translate this one?
This is the moon. Well,
this is a moon? Sadia. This is a, say it again?
This moon.
This moon. If I had to say this is a moon, how will I say it?
Hada qamarun.
Very good. Hada qamarun. Okay, let's try another one. Like, let's go with Muallimatani. Number 6. Okay, Muallimatani. Which one will you use here?
Hatani.
Which one did you say?
Hatani.
Hatani. Very nice. Hatani. Right? Hatani. So how will you translate? Hatani muallimatani. How will you translate?
Wait, what is muallimatani?
Teachers.
Oh, these 2 are teachers?
Very good. These 2 are teachers because it does not have alif lam, right? Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about broken plurals. There's nothing to talk about broken plurals, but I wanted you to get used to one form of broken plurals. We're running out of time today, so what I'm going to do is we are going to continue with demonstrative pronouns even for the next class before I introduce relative pronouns because I feel like a little bit of application is needed, right? Relative pronouns, maybe I'll just introduce the charts. It's very simple. If this one is easy, that one is easier, okay? Relative pronouns is going to be easier. So from now on, the way we're going to progress in our class is that there's no point in me moving on with topics week after week and not reviewing with you, all right? So we are going to dedicate some time in class in order to review live, right? With Sadia Salwa here, with you here, we're going to review in order to make sure that everything is staying where it's supposed to stay. Because when everything is done and if we don't review together like this, then at the end of it, you'll find it hard to put it together. And I've seen that happen with many Arabic students, right? So we are going, and I'm very big on review, okay? So inshallah, we're going to dedicate some time, or actually a lot of time. That's how important review is to me, right? It will solidify everything that you have learned from day one. So we're going to dedicate good amount of time in class during our live sessions doing review, all right? Just so to help you catch up and be where you're supposed to be, inshallah, okay? So go ahead, make an attempt, do these exercises, and however, do not do the ones from 13. We'll do it next week. These are broken plurals. These are all broken plurals. So there's a rule which is exception to the broken plurals. We'll talk about it next class, inshallah, all right? So Sadia. To the audience on YouTube, thank you very much for joining. Hope this was beneficial, and keep in mind, review, and review as we are building up on these topics. If you have questions and if for some reason you're not able to attend the live session, right? The live chat is on during live session, so anyone can post their questions there. But while you're reviewing, say you have a question just popped up right in your head and you need the answer to that, post it in the comment section. All right, we'll try and get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. But go ahead, anything that pops up like I cannot understand this, go ahead and put it on the comment section. Inshallah, we'll get back to you. Okay, so with this I wrap up. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون